Solar System Townhall welcomes Mr. Ahmed Mohamed, Council of American Islamic Relation, sharing wealth of information.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Great. So, like the brother said, my name is Ahmed. I'm an attorney for CAIR New York. That's the Council on American Islamic Relations. And I'm no imam or religious scholar, but I think since we're on the topic of mental health and the stigma that that really has in our community, in our culture, whether that is Bengali, Pakistani, or Arab, I think it extends throughout the Muslim community in this country and probably around the world. There's a story that I love to hear and I love to think about very often, especially in times of struggle for me. And it's a story that has to do with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And I think it's referenced, I think it's called Tie Your Camel, right? Has anybody heard of that? Anybody heard about the Tie Your Camel story? Where the Prophet, peace be upon him, asked a man, why don't you tie down your camel? And this Bedouin turned to the Prophet and said, I put my trust in Allah. Which is a good thing. The Prophet, peace be upon him, replied and said, tie your camel first, and then put your trust in Allah. Right? Tie your camel first and then put your trust in Allah. We're not talking about camels right here. What does that mean? It's really simple. And I think it applies to mental health, it applies to really all the struggles that we go through in life. Dr. Sabri, if I get stabbed at this moment, what would you expect me to do? Go to the ER, right? It's tying my camel. I'm going to the medical professionals to get treated for a stab wound. It doesn't mean I abandon my faith. It doesn't mean I'm abandoning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah put doctors on this earth for a reason. We have to use their expertise. In the same way, there's no stigma for us to seek medical assistance through medical professionals. There shouldn't be any stigma when we have a mental health issue. Right? When we are struggling mentally, when we need to see mental health professionals. That's what we need to do. It is absolutely improper for us when we are approached, when we have an interaction where someone is going through a mental health crisis, where someone is struggling mentally, and we are not telling them to seek intervention through through mental health professionals. That is exactly what the Prophet told us. We just need to follow the Sunnah. Right? We need to tie our camel. We need to seek these professionals. While we seek those professionals, our family, our friends, ourselves, we put our trust in Allah at the same time. So that's extremely important. Why is that important to CAIR New York? We're a Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization. Well, because with more people who disregard their mental health, or as mental health problems increase in our country, we see more and more hate in our everyday lives. Right? So many of the incidents in the subway system here in New York City have resulted from individuals who have mental health problems. The answer? It's not the NYPD. How do you imagine you getting shot and you seeking medical assistance from the NYPD? Right? That doesn't make sense. When our issue is mental health, we need mental health professionals. We need services. How do we get services? We have to be civically engaged. There's your council member right there. If you want services in your community, you need to call her, annoy her, bug her. And if you don't live in this district, call your city council member and let them know about the services that you do need. And don't forget, I think the brother here earlier talked about cause and effect, right? Well, what are the causes of a lot of things that we're seeing right now? We're coming out of COVID, we're seeing a heightened state of mental health problems. let's call in the professionals. Whether that is providing resources for educators at our schools to help our children, or whether that means that we need to, bring services to the communities, right, to our mosques, to our community centers, so that people can get the assistance that they need. And what I need from all of you is we need all of you to contribute in some way, form, or fashion. When it comes to CAIR New York, I love going out to the community and meeting people. But the one thing that frustrates me over and over again is I get random text messages, I get individuals walking up to me at events and asking me, what did you guys do about this? Or did you hear about this incident that happened 10 days ago? I said, brother, if you don't report an incident, I can't do anything about it, right? I'm not God. I don't know that there was a bias incident that happened in your neighborhood. There's 10 million people that live in the city, right? I don't have TV. I don't have local TV. I don't read local news that often, right? You have to report it, and that's extremely important because when you report it to us, we get the proper authorities involved, right? When we see an increase in incidents, right, we turn that into advocacy, right? We contact city council members on issues when we see, statistics, right? But we need data to do that. I cannot call Shahana Hanif and say, Shahana, we're seeing so many incidents in our community involving X, Y, and Z. She's gonna say, tell me about it. Show me the data. I'm gonna say, well, no one's telling us about it, but we know it's happening. Okay? Well, she can't go have a committee hearing about things that she knows are happening, but has no data to support her. Right? So that is extremely important. So please, I know all of you. I see here, there's very few sisters in the room. Very disappointed about that. Because I know there are sisters in this community, and I know that they value their mental health. And I know there are no children in this room, but I know all of you, large part, probably 90% of you, have children as well. Do they not deserve to hear and be part of this conversation? So please, share this information with your families, share it with your wives, share it with your sisters, share it with your daughters and your children. That if there is an incident in their school, if there is an incident in the subway, there is an incident at the mosque, in the streets, please report it. Report it to your city council member. Report it to CAIR New York. It's really easy. All you got to do is go to our website, www.cair-ny.org. On the website, there's something called Report an Incident. So that's CAIR-ny.org. You just go to Report an Incident, fill out a little form. If you don't want me to bother you ever, you can just tell me. I'm reporting only. Please don't call me. Please don't email me. Just want this for a data point so that you can have it, when you're doing your advocacy work, right? All of this comes down to you engaging with your community and civically. We have elections coming up, by the way. Not for city council. That's next year. There's also redistricting going on right now, so you should be involved in that. But there's, you all will be voting for your congressman in this area. You all are going to be voting for your state senators in this area. And it's important that you all register to vote. Because that, if you're a U.S. citizen, you need to register to vote. Because that's how you're going to make your voices heard at the ballot box. Because listen, we have to, whether we like it or not, legislators, Congress, or state senators here, they make the laws. And you all will have to live under those laws and abide by those laws. I think Dr. Sepri said at the very beginning about morals that, we've lost respect for the laws. Well, if you disagree with the laws, right, you don't want to live under a law that you disagree with, go register and go vote and make sure your legislators are going to enact laws that you like, laws that you're going to respect, laws that you can be proud of. Right? So I'm going to stop here because I think it's very late, and we all really enjoyed each other's companies, but we probably want to get home and we want to take care of our own mental health. Right? So I want to thank everybody. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute honor for me to listen to all of you, and I hope to join you all again in the near future. Like I said, please send this message to your families, and just be nice to one another. And like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said through the Prophet, tie your camel. That means you got to take care of yourself first, right? And then put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.